So in this video, I'd like to show you how I integrated enterprise security into my Python agent using Keycloak, which is an open source identity and access management solution. So in addition to having a login page, we will be building a full role-based access control system so my AI knows what tools my MCP servers users have access to. So this is a quick demo of what I would like to showcase in this video. So here I have my agent orchestrator that's built on LangGraph. These are my tools that are loaded from my MCP servers during startup. Here is my Streamlit front end just to log in. That logs in with Keycloak. Here I'm logged in as myself. And then I just want to showcase one tool in particular. So here I'm just going to a switch, I'm going to a port, I'm going to configure that port. Basically showing this user is able to access this tool to make the port configuration. So here it's getting all the available VLANs for the switch. In this case, I just want to change the description. I'm just going to remove this description. So this is going to do two things. It's going to update the switch with the new description. It's also going to update Netbox with the new change. So it says port was configured successfully, and then it refreshes, and then the description is gone. So this user has access to the tool to update the port description as well as to update the VLAN information. So here's another user called Terrence Couch. I'm going to select the same site. I believe it was New York. Yep. And then the switch was, yep, site A. I'm going to go to the same port. And then when I click edit port, it tells me that I'm not authorized for the specific tool called pythas get VLAN list. So in this instance, this person is not able to access. They are able to log in. They are able to, they have access to certain tools to load out the switch and interfaces, but then they aren't able to edit the port configuration. So what that looks like in my log, let's continue to log. So here, so it successfully authenticates, it shows the group, and then it's the same message from the front end. It's trying to pull in this, this tool from my pythas MCP server, and it's saying that you don't have the permissions to access the tool. So then it just gives that output back from the front end and it stops. So this is the diagram I generated in Mermaid. This is just to showcase the flow of how it all works. So here we have the user. We're trying to get into a club. So first we need to talk to the bouncer. In this case, the bouncer is Keycloak. So on my login page, there's a link. When you click the link, it has a pop-up that will have you enter your username and password. So then Keycloak will check this information to verify it's correct. If it's correct, it will give you a JSON web token. Now, with this JSON web token will be sent to Streamlit app. There is another check here that I'll cover in the code, but basically you're logged into the app now. Now, the next part is you would like to use a tool or you want to touch the music. So here I have a security.py file. So what it's going to check is, yes, the user is authenticated, but now it's going to look and see what group it belongs to. So if the group is in the, let's just say AI agent underscore network, this person is going to be authorized and they're going to be an admin, and then they'll have access to the tools and then the DJ booth to actually make the change to the music. If they're not authorized, let's just say they're part of a different group, then they'll be denied. So that's pretty much a high-level overview of how the logic works. So this is my Keycloak instance that I am running in a Docker container. I'm just going to go over the options that I have in here. So here I have my Realm AI agent realm that I created. In here, I have for my clients, I have my Streamlit client. If I click into it, here are my redirect URLs. So once it's successfully signed in, it'll redirect to the original page. The only thing that I think it's important here is credentials. This is my client's secret. So this I'm actually storing in my Invisco, which is my password manager. So here, this is my password manager, Streamlit client secret, and then this is the same key that I'm storing here. So next is my client scopes. In here, I have a client scope called Streamlit client dedicated. And then in here, I have a mapper called groups. And these are the options I've selected. Realm roles. I'm not really going to go to this one. Users, these are the two users I created. Groups, and these are the two groups that they're assigned to. So if I go into network, members, there's the one Rishi as part of the network group, and then Terrence is part of the manufacturing group. Sessions, events. For the installation for this Keycloak, as far as the Docker container, I mean, there's better videos out there, so I'm not going to go into how to install it and configure it. I want to just focus more on we have some type of authentication happening, so I'm using Keycloak to simulate some type of Azure AD integration, and then based upon your user and your groups, that's how you're going to be able to have access to tools within the Python AI program. So this is my Docker startup file where I'm declaring my Keycloak internal URL and my external URL. Only one is accessible externally. The internal one is just more of security where all the containers talk to each other in a predefined network. So when my Streamlit container starts, it actually has these variables in there. So it has my Keycloak internal URL, then it has my browser URL. I'm also injecting from my Invisco, so all my passwords and my secrets from my Invisco will be injected into the Streamlit app during startup, which I'll need later on. So this is my streamlit.py file. So in here, I have my client secret, which is an environment variable. So what happens is, let me go back and show you. So when I'm on this page and I click login, it's going to prompt for my username and password. So here, this is only dealing with Keycloak. So once I put my information in, Keycloak authenticates me as a user. Now, this is where the client secret comes into play. So when I authenticate, I get a code, and then Streamlit has to respond back to Keycloak with my client secret. And that's what authorizes me to log in. So the second part of my streamlit.py file is when it gets the token, it has to decode the information. So in here, this is where it gets the groups. So this is the block of code that does this process. So this is my security.py file. So this is where I have my tool authorizations. So in here, I have my two groups that I have in Keycloak. So AI agent network and then AI agent manufacturing. And then for each tool, it's mapped to if it has access to a certain tool. So for example, my Python's get VLAN list only is accessible with my AI agent network, while my Python's run show command, both groups have access to this specific tool. So here I separated by each of my MCP servers. So this is my Cisco Pythos MCP server. Then I have my Netbox MCP server. This is my Libre NMS MCP server. routing analyzer MCP server that I do with my FortiGates. And then this is my FortiGate MCP server and all the tools. So before a tool is called, on the right-hand side is my agent orchestrator. So here it does a check first to verify it has access to the tool before it goes ahead to try to make the API call. So on the left is my security.py file, and here this function called is authorized for tool. This is what does to check to verify the user that's requesting the tool is in the proper group that's defined in the same file. So we're back to my orchestrator log file. And then here we see the user Terrence Couch in the log file where it successfully authenticates, and then it will always show what group it belongs to. So every time it's calling a tool, so for example, in this case, it's doing get objects, it's going to look at that security.py file to verify it's part of the group to provide access. So here it's always calling the get objects, and then here it tries to do the python get VLAN list, and then it says that authorization denied, and then you don't have access to the tool because you're not in the group. It even tells you here that this is the required group to be able to access the tool. That's it for this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And my next video, I'm going to show you how I'm able to generate a sitemap with CDP information from my Libre NMS and using Mermaid to automatically generate the file.